point till I get my money right.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Quantum Ascent. I have Kadena up on the screen, the 1 week price chart. Full disclosure, I don't own any. This was a request from my Quantum Circle. I charted this back in early May, so it's been a while, but I broke my own rule and I didn't look at the market cap chart before I did this, so our targets might be slightly different from that video. So let's go ahead and break it down. Going back to this high here in November of 2021, you can see that the price chart is down 98.65%. The market cap chart from that same point in time, only down 97.13%. All right, so that doesn't seem like a huge difference, 98 and 97. But if I brought this to 97.13, that would be like price being all the way up here at 82 cents, twice what it is right now, right? So although it doesn't look like much on the drawdown, it is a pretty decent amount, right? So we have to use the market cap chart to measure out this next move for Altseason. The other thing too is you can just look where it draws down. On this macro here, this just looks like a macro, where are we at here? A run up like A, B, C. This thing drops down into the A wave here, okay? Looking at the price chart, that drops all the way down here on what would be the B wave, right? So again, this should be a little bit higher up if we look at where it's at structurally, right? On top of the A wave there. There is a scenario where this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we do set a new high. Reason being is this is only 127 million for the market cap, right? That's not huge. And you look at this alt season we had back here in early 2021, we ended up getting 2,800% or a 29x. I mean, I'm not saying that's what we're going to do right now, but you go 2,800% from here, and you're right back up near that last high, right? So got to wait and see how it plays out, but my base case is that this is not going to end up setting a new high, and I'll talk about why right here in a second. But first, guys, join the Quantum Circle. Entries, exits, strategy, emotional, mental clarity, 2 daily macro videos, a whole lot more. Link to that in my bio. That's the real alpha. Understand the macro to understand what's going to happen with your coins and when it's going to happen with your coins. So, all right, back into this. What I want to do first is I want to see on this drawdown, A to B, did we close out that range on the C leg? We sure did. So now I know that the range I'm working on is going to be back here. That high to this low, just like that, okay? And you can see, like, there's some massive support down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, like, we're hanging out around these lows right now. So it does look like a big support area, even though we're down there right now. I do expect that this thing's going to start moving up here soon. We look too, this was the Trump pump back in November. Got some nice gas there. This is the high that we're using on a lot of our local ranges right now to predict some extensions, okay? So when I pull that range out and I look, I see some confluence up here around that, what is that, 1.75 billion mark? Right around there, right? I like that area on this move. A lot of times, too, it can go that full extension there, right? So that's something to keep in mind up there, right around like 2 billion. But where we're at right now, 125 million, that's a pretty decent sized jump. We're looking at like a 14x to get us back up there, right? So, I mean, as long as you bought any time down here, besides like between October of 2021 and December of 2021, as long as you didn't buy up here, like, you're going to be in the profit even on a move like this, at least from a market cap perspective. We'll extrapolate this over here in a second. So what we want to find out, though, is I look at this, and technically this was the low. That's like a terrible 1-2, and we're still waiting on this third wave to start heading up in the right direction. But we're looking for waves 3, 4, and 5 here for alt season, right? Across the board, what's that going to look like? And this could happen so fast that we don't even see it on the weekly, right? Like, you look at this week right here, this week alone, back in October 18th of 2021, that was a 200% week. 2 weeks later, we went 210%, right? So we might not be able to see the definitive waves on the weekly time frame, but we are looking for another big move in the altcoins, one more knockback in the altcoins, and one more high in the altcoins. So that would, translate to waves 3, 4, and 5 here for Kadena. Now, typically, what we look at, third wave is usually the strongest, and it'll at minimum get us back out to that last local high, right? Either high up in these retracements at that last local high, but a lot of times it'll exceed it. It'll draw retail in, and then bam, wave 4 ends up coming, and it drops back down into that area. Typically, you're looking at a 35 to 50% drawdown. This is a smaller cap coin. At that point, I guess it would be closer to 860 million, but you'd be looking in the 40s for a drawdown here. So just back to this high here, 33%. Drop it back into the 786 there, and we're more in line, like 44, 45%. So I'll be looking at wave 4 to come back down there, and then wave 5 on a pop off there. So with that being said, now what we have to do is let's grab this data, let's pull it over to the price chart, and let's figure out where exactly we're looking. Real quick, before I do that, what this would be doing then is we had an A, B, C up, and then this would be an A, B, C down. All right. And that's how that macro picture would look here for KDA. And this would be coincide with a pretty bad, at minimum, recession. I'm thinking depression globally, but we can talk about that more later. All right, wave 3 from the current price level. We're saying 580% or 6.8x. 580% from the current price level. Right up here gets you just above these highs. Right? And if we look over to the left, kind of gets you into that wick right there. So that's where we're going to be looking right here, right up at about like 257 for wave 3. Wave 4 came back down. What was that exact percentage? 46. 46%. We'll say 45% from that high. So then we're going to go down 45% from this high. Back testing price-wise these levels. 45% right there. Wave 4, that's like $1.40. And then we look at this last wave here for KDA, and we'll be able to wrap this thing up. You're looking at 277%, a 3.7x. Wave 1, yeah, wave 1's the smallest, makes sense. That was trash. 278% from that line. 278. So we're looking at like 540, right? Right around there. And so how this would be looking then was you'd have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. And we did that using the market cap and pulling it over. So I'm curious, with the 540 price target, does that give us anything here? From a price perspective, not too far off from that 236 there. That's $7. So if you get some throw over, that could be a logical area. That's also where we broke down from. But using the market cap, in the confluence that we found on there, that's where we'd be looking at. If this did go a little bit further, let's see. If this goes the full 4236, 340% from this low. 340 brings you up a little bit closer to $6. So you're looking at like the $5.50 to $7. There's a lot of confluence up there for this to be the ending price target for KDA. So I know that's not fun, but again, guys, like if you look back, as long as you didn't buy a majority of your bag in this area from November of 2021 to February of 2020, that 3-month span, then you're fine. You should be in the green in this, right? Is it ideal? No, but you're still looking at a 14x. That's a lot more than we have for a lot of the market right now. So that's what I got, guys. Wave 3, 257. Wave 4, 141. Wave 5 up there around 540. And I showed you the math. That's not feelings. Like I said, join the Quantum Circle, real-time trades, access to my portfolio, 2 macro videos a day, a Discord channel, and I teach you how to do TA just like me. Link to that in the bio. If not, just super appreciative you guys are here. If you could follow, like, repost. Want to get this info out to as many people as I can before it's too late. So hope everyone's having a great start to their Thursday. I'll talk to you later.